Puerto Rico was supposed to be the backdrop of sunlit perfection, tropical cocktails clinking, camera-ready palm trees swaying, influencers dancing for Instagram reels. But overnight, that postcard paradise erupted into something out of a nightmare. Forget sunsets and coconut drinks. This was a scene dripping in panic and betrayal. The laughter vanished in seconds, replaced by screams and flashing emergency lights. And at the rotten heart of it all? Jock, the man whose name has practically become a synonym for scandal, and Kirk, whose questionable choices could fill an encyclopedia of chaos. It began like a typical boys' trip, the kind reality TV producers dream about. But when the cameras started rolling, the script twisted faster than anyone could scream, "Cut." One moment the group was clinking glasses under the moonlight, the next, Kirk was sprawled on the floor, blood spilling across the white marble like a crime scene painting. Phones lit up everywhere. Instagram live feeds froze mid-laugh as the sound of sirens pierced the tropical air. Rasheeda collapsed, sobbing uncontrollably, a living embodiment of tragedy that felt more like a cinematic ambush than reality. And then came the question that ripped through every gossip forum and group chat: what on earth happened? Headlines exploded: Jock's midnight rampage sends Kirk to the ER, love and hip-hop turns violent. Was it pure rage? An old grudge finally snapping? Or something darker, whispered for months but never spoken on camera? Social media poured gasoline on the fire. Twitter hashtags like hashtag Puerto Rico Blood Night and hashtag Jock Unleashed trended worldwide. TikTok detectives dissected every shaky phone clip, claiming they could see the betrayal in Jock's eyes. To truly understand the depth of this volcanic eruption, we have to rewind, because chaos like this does not start in a single night. This was a time bomb set years ago, ticking quietly beneath layers of fake smiles and glossy interviews. Jock has always been more than a party guest. He is a storm disguised as a friend, charming enough to get invited everywhere, dangerous enough to leave every reunion in pieces. Drama is his oxygen. Whether it is a wedding reception or a quiet brunch, he has a supernatural gift for turning normal moments into viral explosions. And then there is Kirk. Oh, Kirk, the Houdini of heartbreak. His past is a labyrinth of late-night scandals, secret meetups, and whispered confessions that never stay hidden. Each time fans thought he had hit rock bottom, he somehow found a brand new basement. Cameras love him because every wrong move feels like a season finale. So when you lock Jock and Kirk on an island famous for rum and late-night temptation, the word vacation becomes laughable. It was not a trip. It was a ticking trap. What the public did not know, until the first blood-stained photo leaked, was that Jock arrived in Puerto Rico already burning. Atlanta was buzzing with rumors that his wife, Kendra, had been far too friendly with Kirk at a certain after-hours party. If it were any other man, maybe Jock would have brushed it off. But this was Kirk, the repeat offender of trust, the man who could turn an apology into an insult. And Jock is no saint. Rage simmered in silence until the first drink of the night cracked it open. By midnight, whispers turned to confrontation. Witnesses say Jock's voice cut through the music like broken glass. Others claim Kirk smirked, and that tiny spark ignited an inferno. One punch. Then another. A table crashed. Blood spread. The resort's polished floor became a mirror for pure chaos. Screams echoed as someone yelled for an ambulance. And all the while, phones kept recording, because in this new digital coliseum, tragedy is always content. Today, fans are left piecing together the truth from a million fractured clips and cryptic Instagram stories. Was this the night that years of unspoken betrayal finally exploded? Or was it another dark performance, a calculated spectacle for ratings and relevance? Whatever the answer, one fact is undeniable: paradise is permanently stained. Puerto Rico will no longer be remembered for turquoise waves or salsa rhythms, but for the night Jock turned a dream getaway into a live-streamed war zone. Jock never believed in quiet confrontations, and tonight proved it. There was no hushed corner talk, no respectful "let's step aside." Instead, he marched straight into the glowing heart of the villa, cameras already humming like electric bees. In his mind, a private chat would bury the truth. A public showdown would expose it. And so, with reality TV instincts sharper than a producer's clapboard, he detonated the night. He came armed with whispers that had brewed for weeks, ready to unleash every ounce of fury in full view of the world. At first, it almost played like a typical love and hip-hop spat, raised voices bouncing across the pool deck, castmates sliding in to play peacemaker, nervous laughs trying to rewrite the tension. Kirk gave that familiar laugh, the one fans have come to recognize as his guilty tell. Haha, bro, you are tripping. Why would I ever? A performance rehearsed over years of late-night accusations and shady receipts. But Jock was not buying the act. Each word out of his mouth was a blade. You spent the night with my wife. Do not lie to me, Kirk. The air itself seemed to pause. In their world, accusing someone of touching your marriage is more than drama, it is a nuclear strike. Rasheeda's eyes widened until they seemed to hold the entire moonlit sky. Even the palm trees looked as if they leaned in, desperate to hear the next sentence. And then it happened. Jock lunged. Whether you call it a shove, a tackle, or pure rage given shape, it hit like an earthquake. Kirk stumbled back, arms flailing, furniture crashing beneath him. The sound of his skull meeting the edge of the table sliced through the humid night. Blood followed, thick, dark, undeniable. Gasps and screams erupted. Production crews abandoned their perfect camera angles and bolted toward the chaos. Kirk lay there, clutching his head, his breath shallow. Rasheeda's scream ripped through the courtyard. Not again. Not like this. A raw cry that would soon loop endlessly on every gossip reel. For once, Jock, the man who always had a comeback locked and loaded, simply froze. His hands trembled as he stared at what he had done, the neon resort lights reflecting off the crimson spreading across the tiles. Within minutes, Paradise looked more like a crime scene. Sirens pierced the island night as an ambulance pulled up to the once private villa. Kirk was lifted onto a stretcher, Rasheeda gripping his hand as though she could hold the entire story together by sheer force of will. The other cast members stood motionless, faces etched with a shock so deep it felt cinematic. Yet every phone in the place was still recording. Every scream, every frantic step, every metallic scent of blood was already on its way to millions of screens. But anyone thinking this was just a drunken scuffle badly misread the moment. This was no accident. This was the collision of years of unspoken grudges, whispered betrayals, and toxic egos finally catching fire. Jock's rage was not merely about Kendra. It was about every time Kirk had turned loyalty into a punchline, every late-night rumor that had eroded friendships like salt on stone. Tonight, Kirk finally faced the bill for a lifetime of dodged consequences. And while Kirk's ambulance wound through the Puerto Rican streets, the internet detonated. Hashtags like #Jock vs Kirk and #Paradise Bloodline shot to the top of Twitter. TikTok detectives slowed shaky phone videos frame by frame, speculating on Jock's clenched jaw. Instagram gossip pages flooded with memes. One showed Rasheeda crying with the caption, "Sis deserves hazard pay at this point." Fans split into camps with gladiator-like zeal. Team Jock insisted, "You do not play with a man's marriage and expect roses." Team Kirk countered, "Violence is never the answer, no matter the betrayal." Meanwhile, the key players fell silent. Kendra vanished from social feeds. Jock paced the villa like a man staring at invisible bars, already muttering about lawyers. Kirk lay in a hospital bed, stitches knitting together a wound that was deeper than skin. And Rasheeda? She was caught between heartbreak and déjà vu, whispering to friends that she could not live this nightmare twice. But if you think this bloody night is where the chaos ends, you have clearly never studied the physics of love and hip-hop drama. One fight is never just one fight, it is the first domino in a chain of chaos producers dream about. As the Caribbean sun rose over still sparkling water and vacationers sipped their untouched mojitos, fresh rumors were already slipping into blogs. Anonymous insiders claimed Jock had been downing tequila like water. Others swore Kirk had been whispering too close to Kendra days earlier, planting seeds of suspicion. Some even alleged producers had sensed the ticking bomb and simply waited for it to blow. Puerto Rico kept shining for the tourists, but for the love and hip-hop cast, Paradise was officially over. What remains is a crater of distrust, a pile of unanswered questions, and an audience that cannot look away. The cameras are still rolling. The world is still watching. And everyone knows the next episode will be even messier. By dawn the internet was already on fire, but one claim poured gasoline on the blaze. According to an alleged insider, producers had whispered a single instruction to camera crews before the night even began: do not cut. No matter what happens. That one line sent conspiracy hunters into overdrive. Suddenly every slow-motion replay of the fight became evidence. Twitter detectives dissected each frame like forensic scientists. Look at Rasheeda's eyes, she knew this train wreck was coming. See Kirk's guilty smirk even before Jock lunged. Why did security move so late? It was as if the world's largest group chat had turned into a 24-hour crime lab, each theory wilder than the last. Then came the alleged receipts, the digital equivalent of a smoking gun. Grainy screenshots began circulating, supposedly leaked text messages between Kirk and Kendra. One read, "Last night was fun. We need to keep this between us." Another dripped with temptation, "Cannot stop thinking about it." Whether real or masterfully photoshopped, no one could say. But truth hardly mattered. Screenshots traveled faster than Kirk's blood pressure after the scuffle, and the internet treated those blurry pixels like scripture. Inside the hospital, reality was far less glamorous. Witnesses say Rasheeda's heartbreak echoed down sterile hallways. She reportedly shouted through tears, "I cannot keep doing this, Kirk. Every time I forgive you, something worse happens." Imagine that weight, years of public humiliation condensed into one unbearable night. Kirk lay stitched and silent, the very picture of a man who had run out of excuses. Jock, meanwhile, was nowhere near the hospital room. Producers allegedly posted security at every door, half to keep tempers from igniting again, half because no camera was allowed past the ER curtain. But Jock still made his feelings known. A producer later claimed he muttered without a shred of regret, "If he touched my wife, I would do it again. I do not regret anything." No apology, no soft landing, just a declaration that thundered across social feeds. Twitter's #JockSnapped crowd roared approval. "That is how you defend a marriage." Others condemned him as reckless. "You are a grown man on national TV. Use your words, not your fists." The memes were merciless. TikTokers reenacted the entire scene with household props. One viral clip showed a cartoon sponge with a head bandage captioned, "Kirk checking his mentions." Hashtags multiplied like sparks from a bonfire, #pray for Kirk, #justice for Rasheeda, #Jock Unleashed. What had started as a vacation brawl was now a digital gladiator match, each camp fighting for narrative control. Yet beneath the chaos pulsed an older, deeper grudge. Friends for years, Jock and Kirk had always walked the knife edge between loyalty and rivalry. Kirk's trail of betrayals, Jock's hair-trigger temper, the ego clashes that never truly cooled. It felt inevitable that one night, somewhere, the dam would burst. It just happened to burst in Puerto Rico, with every camera rolling. And then came the legal storm nobody wanted to talk about on camera. This was not a harmless shove. Puerto Rican authorities reportedly received notice of an assault serious enough to require stitches and a police file. Whether charges would stick was uncertain, but the word investigation instantly raised the stakes. If producers had indeed fanned the flames, the scandal might spill from gossip columns into court filings. Meanwhile, fans obsessed over the core mystery: did Kirk actually betray Jock with Kendra, or had Jock's jealousy simply snapped under the weight of rumors? Kendra's silence only deepened the suspense. No cryptic Instagram stories. No late-night tweet hinting at truth to come. Nothing. In the court of public opinion, silence sounded like guilt. Rasheeda, unwilling star of endless heartbreak, became a meme and a martyr all at once. Paparazzi shots of her tear-streaked face outside the hospital went viral under captions like "Queen of Suffering" and "First Lady of Forgiveness." Thousands of fans begged her to leave, one tweet summing up the sentiment: "Sis, the universe has sent every sign. Walk away." And as the dust barely settled, another motive gleamed through the smoke: money. Industry insiders whispered the name Mona Scott Young like an incantation. With footage this explosive, VH1 was unlikely to waste a single drop of the drama. Multiple insiders swore the network was already plotting bonus episodes and a reunion special that would stretch this Puerto Rico blood night into an entire season of ratings gold. As dawn broke, another rumor storm hit the feeds. Producers are allegedly preparing a two-part Puerto Rico Fallout special, bonus confessionals, never-before-seen footage, and a reunion that insiders describe as chair-throwing theater. Some even whisper about a full spin-off built entirely on this single brawl. Imagine that, one man's hospital stay morphing into a marketing plan. Only in the ruthless economy of reality TV could a night of bloodshed become the seed for a new franchise. And so the chessboard stands: Kirk stitched and silent in a hospital room, Rasheeda a portrait of exhaustion and heartbreak, Jock defiantly unrepentant, Kendra mute as a locked phone, and producers allegedly clinking champagne glasses at the ratings windfall. One fact feels undeniable: this trip is far from over. When a vacation crosses the thin line between gossip and bodily harm, the fallout is measured not in days, but in whole seasons. Now comes the aftermath phase, the eerie calm where shouting fades and the true stakes emerge. This is the moment when careers teeter, marriages wobble, reputations burn, and lawyers quietly sharpen their knives. The first shadow on the horizon is legal. Puerto Rico is not Atlanta. Local authorities treat public violence, especially when blood stains the scene, as a criminal matter. Eyewitnesses claim police arrived within minutes, interviewing staff and sealing off the courtyard. No charges were announced immediately, but insiders insist investigators are sifting through phone footage as potential evidence of assault with bodily harm. For Jock, who may have believed this was just another headline-grabbing episode, the reality could land harder than his infamous shove. Next, the civil storm. Lawyers are already gaming out the angles. If producers indeed fanned the flames, if those "do not cut" orders were real, they could face accusations of negligence. And Kirk, should he choose, could transform injury into income, suing Jock personally and perhaps the network itself. In this world the wounds may be real, but so are the payouts. Meanwhile, the internet is anything but calm. Social platforms have turned into a battle arena. One side hails Jock as a husband defending sacred vows. The other calls him reckless, a grown man who should have used words instead of fists. Memes keep multiplying. Kirk's head wrapped like a cartoon mummy, Rasheeda mid-sob captioned, Queen of Infinite Patience. And the inevitable hashtag? Hashtag Puerto Rico Bloodbath, a phrase now stamped across millions of screens. But a darker transformation is underway. For many fans, this no longer feels like mere reality TV. It is mutating into a true crime spectacle. TikTok sleuths slow-motion Rasheeda's sobs, arguing they are too raw to be scripted. Reddit message boards read like case files, claiming hotel staff saw Kirk slip into Kendra's room the night before. YouTube fills with exposés titled, The Secret Hours Before Jock's Attack, Receipts Inside. What began as a television scandal now resembles an open investigation by the entire internet. And then there is the silence, the kind that screams. Kendra, whose name fuels every theory, remains off every platform. No denials. No cryptic, truth will come out, messages. Nothing. In a world where even grief is usually packaged into Instagram stories, silence feels like smoke from a hidden fire. Fans flood comment sections. Why will she not defend herself? Why will she not defend Jock? One anonymous tipster even claims Kendra and Kirk were seen in an Atlanta lounge weeks earlier, sitting far too close for old friends. The rumor now loops endlessly, each repost weaving a narrative that feels more like a dark streaming documentary than last night's entertainment. What is certain is that the Puerto Rico trip has mutated from a vacation special into something larger, a sprawling, many-headed scandal where every secret text, every unguarded glance, and every second of leaked footage becomes part of an ongoing public trial. The cameras may one day pack up, but the fallout is only gathering momentum. Was Jock's fury the fever dream of jealousy, or the first honest outburst in a circle of friends too scared to speak? That question now fuels every late-night thread and comment section. And then there is Rasheeda, long-suffering, heartbreak's unwilling poster child. If sainthood had an audition tape, hers would play on repeat. Cheating, public humiliation, and now literal blood on a resort floor. Those close to her claim she finally whispered the unthinkable, I am done. Whether done means divorce papers, a trial separation, or just another ice-cold storyline for the cameras, no one knows. But viewers felt the shift, a breaking point so raw it rattled through every leaked clip. Rasheeda's haunted look told 1,000 stories. She seemed to carry the memory of every betrayal Kirk ever committed, as though she had lived this disaster too many times to count. And this time, maybe, just maybe, she was ready to walk off the set for good. Yet in reality television, tragedy is never left to grieve in silence. It is repackaged and resold. Producers are already rumored to be scripting an explosive Puerto Rico fallout reunion where Jock and Kirk face each other under blinding lights. Rasheeda, tear-streaked but defiant, in one corner. Kendra, finally cornered with direct questions, in the other. Some even tease a spin-off with a name that practically markets itself, Blood and Paradise. To network executives, a man in a hospital